Which eucalypt is the snappiest? Eucalyptus leucophloia. Snap, snap, snap. Magical landscapes where quartz crystals litter the ground, where red sand is blown into twisting shapes that cover and uncover hidden treasures, where ancient mountains have eroded over hundreds of millions of years. This is a place where fire and scorching heat offer only more territory to this truly resilient tree. Eucalyptus leucophloia, or the snappy gum, is a small tree that inhabits the Pilbara of Western Australia and the east of the Northern Territory, crossing the border into Western Queensland. It is a small, unassuming tree that is easy to confuse with the more famous ghost gum because of its smooth, white, powdery bark. Snappy gum lives with fire, and while it grows typically as a single-stemmed tree, after a fire, as it regrows, it can take the form of a mallee. The snappy gum distribution is one of the widest east to west ranges of all the eucalypts, stretching a whopping 3,000 kilometres across the top of Australia. However, if we take a closer look at this distribution on a map, we can see a very strange phenomenon. Eucalyptus leucophloia is a species that consists of two very distinct populations, each reflected as a subspecies. But fear not, there are numerous other species of eucalyptus, including the closely related Eucalyptus brevifolia, that cover this missing area from the snappy gum's distribution. And while other species, like the river red gum for example, cover the entire northern coastline with several subspecies, the snappy gum has a very large void. The Snappy Void. There is no definitive explanation as to why or how this gap in the snappy gum's distribution came to be. We can, however, hypothesize a number of different theories. Maybe a larger geomorphological event hundreds of millions of years ago, like the Eromanga Sea inundation, laid the foundation for this quirk in its distribution. The Eromanga Sea was an inland sea that covered a vast area of Australia and disappeared around 120 million years ago. You can see that there is this avenue in which the sea existed. You could assume that a species of plant existed over the wider area before the inundation. But that species was pushed apart or separated as the ancient sea rose. 120 million years later, we could now have two separated subspecies. But researchers indicated that Eucalyptus dates back only 60 million years, with the majority of species diversification happening in just the last 2 million years. Is the distribution gap linked to a particular geological factor, like soil makeup, mineral availability, or a chemical presence? Possibly the snappy gum was susceptible to a localized environmental change in the more recent past, like a change in fire regimes or water availability. Was it a direct human-induced change, like deforestation to make way for farmlands, or subsequent overgrazing from cattle just so we could eat more meat? While there is still much to discover about the Snappy Void, we do know some key characteristics that make this tree quite special. It just loves poor quality, nutrient-deprived soils in harsh, dry conditions. For this reason, the snappy gum has found very favourable use in landscape restoration projects, like mine site rehabilitation. Today, there are around 50,000 abandoned mine sites in Australia, which is a sad testimony to the extractive industries. Luckily, there are dedicated ecologists who have spent their careers trying to repair this damage. Restoration ecologists have studied which plants are best at this first wave of rehabilitation plantings, and the snappy gum is right up there at the top of the list. Its love of dry and hot conditions and preference for coarse, rocky soils low in nutrients makes it a perfect tree for these restoration projects. Oh, what a champion. The Snappy Gum is a tree that has mastered living in poor soils with very little water. It is a tree that still has so many unanswered mysteries about its distribution. It is ready and waiting for the next generation of scientists to uncover its secrets. And the Snappy Gum is leading the way with restoration ecologists to repair the damage we've done to our unique landscapes. Snap. What was that? Snap! Snap! Snappy! Snap! 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 I'm Steve from the Tree Projects, and you keep on eucalypting. Eucalypt Australia runs the Eucalypt of the Year competition. Have you ever thought about how special your local Eucalypt is? And how it fits into the complex and diverse colour world of the Eucalypt? Now is the time to get ready for Eucalypt of the Year 2021. Snap!